the world could end AIDS if it tried. The world has made so much progress in reducing the spread of AIDS and treating people with HIV that the epidemic has receded from the public spotlight. Yet by any measure the disease remains a major threat. 1.1 million people died last year from AIDS-related causes, and 2.1 million people were infected with the virus. And while deaths are down over the last 5 years, the number of new infections has essentially reached a plateau. The United Nations announced a goal last week of ending the spread of the disease by 2030. That's a laudable and ambitious goal, reachable only if individual nations vigorously campaign to treat everyone who has the virus and to limit new infections. The medicines and know-how are there, but in many countries the money and political will are not. Besides shining a spotlight on the disease, it's crucial that wealthy nations like the United States continue to pony up generously to underwrite what must be a global effort. Donors and low- and middle-income countries need to increase spending to $26 billion a year by 2020, the United Nations says, up from nearly $19.2 billion in 2014. While still high, deaths attributable to AIDS are down 36% from 2010. That is largely because many more people are receiving antiretroviral drugs, 17 million people in 2015, compared with 7.5 million 5 years earlier. These medicines allow people to live near normal lives and greatly reduce the risk of transmission to others. But while some countries like South Africa, once a disaster zone, and Kenya have made tremendous progress in increasing treatment, many people who need the life-saving therapy do not have access to it. Only 28% of those infected in Western and Central Africa were being treated in 2015, according to a recent United Nations report. The numbers were even lower in the Middle East and North Africa, 17%, and Eastern Europe and Central Asia, 21%. In some countries, people who test positive are told to come back when they get sick because of budget constraints, says Sharon Lynch, an HIV policy advisor at Doctors Without Borders. Many never return.